guys, Dr. Arora from Arora Medical Education. It's MSRA time. People are starting to ask me, how do you prepare? What's the best way to prepare? People who struggled before have asked, how do I change things? And one of the things I want to talk about is the MSRA dual prep approach that we always talk about. Now, when I say we prepare for MSRA, there are two key ways that people often do preparation. Number one, questions approach, by doing multiple questions, thousands and thousands and thousands of questions, and hoping they build up enough knowledge that way. And number two, knowledge and understanding based approach. Some people just do loads of reading, lots of background information gaining to try and boost their score. Now, we talk about this dual prep approach by using both, the combination of both, that's really important to crack your MSRA and get into training, regardless of whichever specialty you're applying to. So questions, of course, how are you going to do these? Question banks are the commonest way. So online question banks, people use lots of them. There are 2 or 3 really popular ones out there. Find the one that works for you. There's no one that's best or worst. Find the one that works for you and the one that you learn most from, the one that you can understand most from, and then maximize it. Some people also use books as well. Some of the books can be outdated, but certainly they're a very useful thing you can get from your hospital library, for example. And mock exams are another great way of doing lots of questions, but in that time pressurized situation that we don't often do when we're just doing hundreds of questions on a day-to-day basis. So there's a question-based approach. Some people just do questions. The problem with just doing questions is you have a lot of gaps in your knowledge because you're relying on the information at the bottom of the question to try and learn your stuff. The second approach, like we said, is knowledge and understanding. You've got to have this approach where you're constantly doing questions, but you're constantly boosting your knowledge and understanding key principles, particularly for things like the SJT exam, things like reading good medical practice, things like going through the Oxford handbooks, very useful. So books are a great way to do this, but also there are things that we do like audiobooks that you can listen to material and build up knowledge as you're commuting, traveling, shopping. So buying you time, we have one for clinical and one for SJT. We have online courses. For example, the clinical online course that we do runs you through all the clinical stuff you need to know, investigations, guidelines, diagnosis, etc., whilst watching on screen. And we have our clinical flashcards that we post to your house, that you have all the clinical guidelines again and the core knowledge that you need to build up. So for some, using whatever method you use, knowledge and understanding needs to be there as well. If you just rely on questions, you're going to have lots of gaps. If you just rely on reading and going through knowledge, you're going to not be able to problem solve because your brain's not used to doing questions. So you've got to do this dual-based approach. Now, one thing that we have is our MSRA Gold Pack. It's probably one of the commonest packages that we run, the MSRA Gold Pass package. And it's a combination of these 4 things to allow you to do both of these in one go. So firstly, it has both of our audiobook courses, Clinical Grammar on the Go and SJT Principles on the Go. It contains our long online clinical course that you can watch again and again and again. It contains our flashcards that we post to your house wherever you are in the world, globally. And it has 6 full MSRA mock exams, 3 clinical and 3 SJT, to put you under that time situation of doing questions when you're under pressure. The question level is quite difficult, but it's designed to work on building the principles and using the principles that you pick up from the audiobook courses and the online course. So AroraMedicalEducation.co.uk MSRA Gold Pass Pack. You can purchase these things separately, but this is the big discounted bundle. And because you've watched this video, there's an extra 10% discount if you use the code AroraVideo10, AroraVideo10, AroraMedicalEducation.co.uk MSRA Gold Pass Pack. But if you're preparing for MSRA, please do not rely on a single prep approach. Don't just do thousands of questions and hope that you're going to cover enough material, and don't just do loads of material and hope that you're going to be able to do questions. You need to do both. Let us at Arora Medical Education help you get a super score in MSRA. Can pass, will pass. #I went with Arora. Take care.